So I can hit go live, and we are streaming. Cool. Sorry about that, everyone. We had some technical difficulties. This is actually both of our first time trying to get a live stream working. So there's lots of buttons you actually have to click in order to get YouTube to start. Cool. All right. Wait, they're saying they can't hear you. I think maybe I'm not sending your audio. There we go. All right, y'all should be able to hear Dinesh now. I can hear him at least. Ugh. All right. All right, yeah, somebody put in the chat and see if you can hear Dinesh now. And
hello. Okay. Oh, let me just mute this one as well. Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they can hear you now. Perfect. We have all the settings. There's so many settings involved with live streaming.
Yeah, I feel like we are like a media production already with these
right?
kind of difficulties.
Well, this is one of the things, like, you set it up once, and then after you set it up once, you never have to set it up again, so then you can, like, hit go, and so I feel like I've watched so many videos about how to set up a live stream, but I've never actually started one yet, so anyway, here we are. We're going now. Cool. Well, the purpose of this live stream is we have a VR Super Jam happening starting this Friday. It's going to be starting at 11 a.m. Eastern, so my time, and then it's like in the evening for you.
5 p.m. CET in Europe.
Yeah, and so we are here to answer your questions. If you have anything, we're probably going to go over the itch.io page a little bit, talk about what prizes we are offering, the rules, and some other stuff now. So if you have questions, ask them in the chat, and then yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Exactly. Yeah, I would say, should we jump to the page straight away and then talk a little bit about the game jam, and then also like a little bit of motivation why you should participate in this jam if you're watching right now and you're not registered, you're doing a mistake.
You haven't signed up. If you aren't signed up for the YouTube live stream, it's down in the description. You can just click on the link to sign up. We've got like 150 people signed up now, almost.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Absolutely. Do you want to share your screen and then we show the itch.io page over there? I think that's the easiest way, instead that we are both doing it on our streams.
Okay. I will share mine, which also means that here's more of the complicated. Let's share this screen.
Mm-hmm.
Which is freaking out now because I'm sharing the screen that I'm sharing my screen on. All right, so here's the itch.io page that we've got.
And there we go. Yes. How many do we have? 145.
We have 145 now.
Let's get it to 160 after the stream. So anyone who's not registered yet,
yeah,
go do it, because there are some very cool prizes as well included.
Yeah, so we've got 145. The jam actually starts in a little less than 2 days now. So we planned this live stream to start. So it starts at this time, like on the hour, in 2 days. And then we're going to do another live stream in 2 days when the jam actually starts. and
Exactly.
we're gonna do a post that tells you the theme. We'll end up putting a like theme section down here to let y'all know what the theme is, and then that way you can go ahead and start making your game, and then you have 72 hours from start to finish to submit one. Um, and then we have this community tab over here where some people are looking for teams, and we had a little time zone issue that we figured out. And then if you also want to look for teams, Dinesh's channel, Discord has a
Yeah,
really good
absolutely.
team section, which that's where we're sending everybody. If you actually want to link up with a team and develop with 3 or 4 other people, it's an entirely virtual jam, but it is much more fun if you have a team. I did a jam a couple months ago now, and it was me and 3 other people, and it was super fun. We did not get very much sleep, but yeah,
But you learn so much. It's
exactly.
incredible.
It's scary how much you learn or how much you
Yeah.
realize that you don't actually know when you oh, I realized I never actually put your channel in the description of my. Hold on. I'm looking your channel up and grabbing the
Oh,
link.
sure. Let me send it to you. There we go.
Cool. Here, I just posted in the chat the link to Dinesh's channel if you want to go subscribe to him. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go through this. We are joining forces together. It's gonna be October 22nd through the 24th, so this weekend, 72 hours. So it's gonna end on the Sunday or Monday, depending on your time zone.
Yeah, I think in Europe it's actually also like going into Monday, 5 p.m. So the dates are not like super perfect, but just you need to know it's 72 hours because it's like different times and days depending on where in the world you are. So there is not like one answer fits all, basically.
Yeah, yeah, that was a little confusing. But we are giving out a good bit of prizes here. We figured the first jam we'd like to make this into a yearly thing, but we figure our first jam we're gonna give away a good bit of prizes just to encourage some people to sign up. And if you've never done a VR jam, maybe you can jump in and get in the top 3 and get some access to some cool perks or whatnot.
Yeah, and since there are not so many people attending right now, your chances are actually not too bad, to be honest, to be placed in these brackets, basically.
Yeah. We have not revealed the topic yet, Alex. We are going to do that Friday at this time. That's when the
Exactly.
jam actually starts. That way, nobody can cheat and go ahead and start making their games now.
Yeah.
So we have a couple places. So these are based on teams. So the first place team is going to get 3 immersive insiders, 3 months subscription, and 3 months subscription to my Patreon, plus some cash. And then the second place gets the second tier level of Patreon and also immersive insiders subscription. And then third place will get a voucher to the Steam Store, Unity Asset Store, Nintendo Store. We'll reach out to you and see
And you
what
can just
you.
decide.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then also we've been reached out by a couple really awesome developers. So Veil VR, which is a really cool. Actually, open this up. It is basically they're trying to make CS:GO for the VR industry, and it's a they want to make esports kind of competitive shooter type game. And so we have 5 exclusive beta access keys that we're giving out that you can't actually get unless you are entered into this. You can't just like buy the beta keys. They're
So no money can buy
very
these.
exclusive.
Priceless.
And then we
Yeah.
have Auto Hand, which is a VR asset to the asset store, which has procedural grabbing and some really cool setup projects. So you can literally just download this asset and open up a project and be 90% of the way there in your VR game. So we're giving away some of those keys. The developer was kind enough to give us some of those as well. try to go back to the jam page. And so we are going to be grading on how technically sophisticated your game is, how much creativity you put into the theme. Is it going is it going to match the theme? So
It's kind of preventing the cheat.
yeah, exactly. So it has to, it
Yeah.
has to match the theme. So you can't just like make a game, have spent making a game this week, and then submit it and say, oh, I did this in 72 hours. So that's kind of that's preventing that. And then is it fun to play? Because we all play games, and finding the fun is a very important part of developing a game. And so if you find the fun and can implement that into your game, that'll give you a much higher ranking. And then itch.io also does a community ranking. So these 3 or 4 are going to be based off of the judges. So we're going to have a judge panel go through and rate your games. And then we also have a community rating. So everyone who participates in the jam will also be able to grade other people and their submissions. So everyone who submits gets to grade as well. So you can help us decide who is going to be in the finals and who gets access to some really cool prizes. Do you have any more to say about that, Dinesh?
I would say no. The creativity part is pretty good. I would like to see something sensory. I mean, the theme that we have, not to spoil anything, kind of like puts you into a place where you should be creative. I think the theme is really, really, really cool, and it really invites you to create creative experiences.
Yeah, the reason we are doing community rating as a part of the grading instead of all of the grading is exactly for that reason, Magma. Just in case the community gets a little toxic because you want your game to win, so you downvote everybody else.
Exactly, especially since there are prizes. There's like invite like random people to join the experience just to rate your game or some weird things like this. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. And then, so, as always, there's going to be some rules. So no cheating. So you have to, you don't have to develop everything, but you have to cite your sources for, assets that you end up using.
Exactly.
Just, give credit where credit is due. You don't say, oh, I made this really cool thing, but you're just using auto hand asset.
Yeah.
We, it needs to be within the 72-hour time frame, and we'll be able to tell this by your meta files. So if you have started beforehand, you can set up a project, but you can't actually make the game beforehand, because we'll know if it's too good.
We're developers ourselves.
Yeah, we are developers, so we know how to look see. Also, not safe for work content, just because we want this to be friendly for everybody. Teaming up is encouraged, and it's not mandatory, so you could do this solo if you are really good at 3D modeling, VR developing,
Everything.
and all the other audio and storytelling, and it is best to do this in teams so you're not overwhelmed by the amount of work that this is, because it does end up being a little crazy.
Yeah, and also a quick tip on the team side. We are encouraging you guys also to team up. So on my Discord server and also on Friday, we will have a dedicated time slot for you to team up with other people, so you're not trying to find them alone or by yourself. I think from the 145 people, there will be a lot of them also gonna be alone. So teaming up, even if you're 2 or 3 developers, it's already super, super helpful, not only for the jam itself, but also for which is the primary reason, the learning experience. You learn how to work with others. I think that's pretty helpful.
Yeah, and just being able to, go a lot further and develop a lot more with, more people.
Yeah, and it's much more fun.
Yeah, and that kind of pairs in with this next one, as we encourage you to use some kind of source control like GitHub or Git in order to save your data and also share your data with the rest of the group as well. And then we're actually going to be providing you a kind of baseline Unity project, and we're going to give that to you Friday when the jam starts as well. And it's going to be just a simple XR project that's already set up that you can download if you want to. I think we're going to use just Interaction Toolkit. and so it'll be really simple, and we are going to provide that to you just so everyone has the same starting level as well. You don't have to use the project. We're just kind of giving it to you just to, help some people out who are new, so you don't have to, waste 3 or 4 hours actually setting up a project. You can go ahead and start building your game.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. And then we are the host. Dinesh, you want to talk about yourself a little bit so people who don't know who you are?
Sure. Let me, I think, should I take the screen share for that second? So I think then we see it on both sides of the stream, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Also someone asked in my chat, what are we going to be, what device should we build to? And this is, I'd recommend an Oculus Quest 2, because that's going to be the most commonplace device that you would want to build for. But me and Dinesh both have, PCVR devices that we can run on.
Yeah,
so
we can use all of those.
yeah, so we'll be able to test using anything. But if you want the most people to actually, build your project and play with it, and actually rate your project, then we'd recommend building to Oculus Quest 2. Or I mean, you could do both. You could do Quest 2 and do an Android build and a PC build, and then you have all your bases covered.
Okay, let me take my screen 1. It should be this one. And there we go. So, well, let me start with this one. I think that makes a bit more sense. So just like Justin, we are quite similar here. We both teach Unity, C#, AR, and VR. And basically that's what I do. So if you like Justin's content, I think we have a quite similar style, I would say, just like from watching your videos. And if you want to learn stuff about, I mean, that's pretty old, like 2.5 years now, it's cardboard stuff, but also here with like AR Core, AR Kit, also strong focus on AR, HoloLens things, but not only the coding things, but also like UX and learning how to get a job as well, this kind of stuff. Then I would invite you guys to also just check out my channel. And yeah, nice collaborations like over here and all of that good stuff. About the pricings we talked about earlier already, we said that the first and second prize will get a membership on my platform, Immersive Insiders. So what even is it? Basically, it is a platform that I've built that, I would say takes YouTube on the next level. So it shows you how to create your own AR and VR applications from scratch with everything you need to know. So if you check out the courses, we have like 4 courses already. One for C# for the very, very beginners who don't know anything about coding. One for Unity as well. One specifically for VR and one for AR. Exactly, these 4 courses. And then we are trying to build more and more things like multi-user stuff, IoT, AI, all of that good old stuff is going to come in the future. And yeah, I would also invite you to participate in the jam, and then you can already get 3 months of this membership to learn all of this content. And yeah, I think that's enough self-promotion over here. I will stop the screen share now.
Oh, now we get to see all of
presenting.
There we go.
So yeah, if you are interested, then you can just check it out. I guess that's the easiest part.
Perfect. All right, let's see. What questions do you all have? Do you have any more questions about the game jam, or just general VR development kind of questions for us?
I will also look it up right now, the questions that I've got already. But
yeah, what's your LinkedIn saying?
LinkedIn is a little bit dead right now. I think there are like at the moment 3 people, and we had like 10 or so. I don't even know how to check. Yeah, analytics. Yeah, we had like 35 people, and right now it's just a couple of them. But I would check my Discord as well, because there we got also some questions. But I would start with the live questions we have from the YouTube right now, because like if someone is watching live, I think they deserve to be answered first.
Yeah.
Then the ones who are asked at some other point.
Yeah. Magma, we're definitely planning on doing a lot more game jams, because I think that's like one of the best ways to learn, one of the most, like one of the funnest ways to learn. Hey, True Beast, how you doing? But yeah, it's like these are super fun. You get to meet a lot of really cool people. We kind of just bring together community, and it's cool because we get to interact with both of our channels and kind of cross pollinate a little bit. And you all get to meet Dinesh's subscribers, or maybe you're both. So yeah, this will be a fun little experiment in Game Jam, and we're definitely planning on doing this one at least every year.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be pretty cool. And then maybe at some point, even local events. I mean, it's going to be complicated from Europe to America, but we will see.
Yeah.
But that would be also super, super, super nice. Okay, let me check one of the questions that I've got. I think that's a very nice one because it's like very open. Can you tell us 3 major do's and don'ts? Let's make it 4, and you will tell 2 do's and don'ts, and I will just tell 2 do's and don'ts, and then I think that's going to be a very helpful answer to the community.
You want to go first?
Okay, let's see. Let me start with one do. Damn it, we mentioned it already. But I'm still gonna say it because
that's
I think
okay. That's allowed.
That's maybe one of the most important things. But I would highly recommend you or encourage you to use a version control system, because it's just like I don't even know if it's possible really to cross collaborate across different locations without using any kind of source control. Like technically it is by putting everything in one folder and using like OneDrive or something like this, but that really doesn't work. So you have a couple of days left, and it's not too complicated really, like if you want to know these kind of things. But using a source control kind of thing, it also in the jam, it teaches you how to use these kind of things. And that will be super, super helpful. And ideally, someone from a team knows some of these things already, and they can help you. But if you don't know anything, I would, just check out some videos beforehand. And
yeah, I know I have a video on source control. I don't know if you have one up.
Then check out his video. Absolutely.
It's called like how not to lose your project or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone has to do the experience one by himself or herself, and then that person learns. Like I wasn't serious about version control before I lost my project. Like the iMobile game that I did, which took me like 1.5 years, was one of my first games. I actually published it to the App Store, and then my PC just crashed and my files were like corrupted, and the project just died. And I had to make like everything from scratch again. But from that moment on, I knew I had to use GitHub or something like this. And that would be one do. One don't. I would say, the first thing that comes to my mind is don't underestimate sleep. Would be super helpful. Like I've been on so many jams now. I mean, I haven't been on any single online jam, but I have been on, I don't know, like 10, 20, 30 local jams now. And you start to make really, really stupid stuff if you are like 24 hours
you haven't slept an entire
code.
day.
Like your brain just doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. And to me, like the point when you accidentally start deleting code is the point where you are like, okay, I should get some sleep, at least like 4 to 6 hours. But it actually makes you more productive if you do not make a all-nighter, just from personal experience. I would recommend you, like, you mean your day is also kind of off then, and you cannot write any intelligent code if you don't have any sleep. Like you will have less sleep, but try to get some at least. Yeah, those were like my first 2.
Okay. I've got do playtest often. So playtesting is very important. Try your game out.
Oh yeah.
Try to run it, because the last game jam I did, it was like a decently long, oh hey puppy, game, and I didn't play, like I play tested it all the way through once, and then like made some changes, and then play tested like through most of it but didn't go all the way, and it ended up there was like a bug like towards the end, so you couldn't actually like finish the game without like a lot of difficulty, and so I should have like playtested all the way to the end a lot more times, because that would have made it a lot easier.
Yeah, I played it, and the end was really
It
hard.
was really hard.
To get on the top of the thing was super hard to me.
Yeah, well, I put like a
Yeah.
ceiling so you couldn't jump out, but then it was like also like
Oh,
too
yeah.
high so you couldn't.
You had to get like a perfect jump to get to the end, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool still.
Let's see. And something to not do is don't make your idea too big. You want
Oh
it to
yeah,
be a
oh yeah, oh
very
yeah.
small
Oh yeah.
project, because you have 72 hours. You're not building out a full like Borderlands VR or like Echo VR or anything.
Yeah,
So very very small. Pick one thing that you want your game to do and like
yeah,
code that, and then that's
absolutely.
it. Yeah.
I would say this is the most important don't, and do, like from any tips anyone can give on any game jam. Make something simple and make it work, and don't try to build a huge I don't know whatever you want to build there. Okay, let me see if I have something else as well.
I can answer a question while you're thinking. Agma says, "What's the best way to playtest in VR?" So usually I will be using my Quest 2, and I just have it hooked up in link mode, and I'll just playtest straight from Unity. So you just play your game like a normal player would, and then you just kind of try to pick up things and move them, and like try to break it. Try to figure out what the players are going to try to do, and come up with different ways to prevent them from like getting around the rules or whatever. And then also run a build every so often, just so you have versions.
Yeah,
because that's kind of important, just in case like you're getting down to the last couple hours. You want to have a build so you can submit one, just in case you the one more thing that you try is not that. I guess that could be another do, is have a lot of build versions, and
yeah.
so
Test them out
so you can
regularly.
submit and not like go over the deadline.
Yeah, one do that I have, maybe like do or don't, whatever. If you are multiple people working on, like everyone has this kind of his own thing, and don't merge everything together at the very end. So that's gonna be big chaos. I had like game jams where like there's usually one person who's like the merge master, who's just like taking everything from everyone and trying to squeeze it into the main project, and that just takes a lot of time. So I would try to merge things together a little bit earlier. Basically, like if one person is doing the level design and one other person is doing the movement and one is doing the sounds or something like this, then try to put it together in little steps, and not huge project, and then like in the last 2 hours you want to bring everything in one. That most of the time doesn't work, and someone is having to suffer by not having his or her content in the final project, and that's going to be very unfortunate, I would say.
Yeah, ad hoc hero, that's a good. So he says, day 1, think of a game idea. Day 2, do all the coding and development, and then day 3, export and post your game. And I think that's a pretty good. That's what I tried to stick to in for the game jam that I did. Is day 1 we basically almost took most of the day. I like went ahead and like made a basic project, but we didn't actually start implementing the game yet. But we were thinking of like ideas and stuff, and like what should the game be about, what should be like the main like thing. And then day 2 was mainly just like coding, getting the core element of the game done. And then day 3 was really just fine tuning, like adding in sound effects, because that really changes like the way your game feels.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's another good do, is make sure you don't neglect sound. So like just ambient audio, sound effects for picking up stuff and whatever. So yeah, it's generally just take the last day to just fine tune stuff. You don't want to
polish as much as possible.
Polish is always pretty important, and it takes a lot longer than you realize.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is something that I also tell a lot of my students, is like try to make something simple and polish it a lot, instead of something very big and like a half-hour experience with like 5 levels, but every kind of level sucks. It's much better to have like one level that is really good instead of like 5 levels that nobody wants to play because everything is unpolished. And the good thing is you don't like, even as a programmer, you don't need to be like a sound engineer to add some sounds. You just go to some random sound libraries that you can look up online, and then you just add your sounds, and that will make your game much better, actually.
Agreed.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah, there's one question. Let me see. Any quick tips on how we can make sure that assets and lightings are not decreasing the performance? You want to go on this?
Optimization.
Yeah.
That's always a tough one for VR, especially if you're developing for like the Quest. I mean, especially for a game jam, like low poly kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
don't want anything with very high graphics or fidelity because that'll slow you down. And then really just make sure your code doesn't get into a bunch of loops and stuff. And optimize that a little bit too. But usually it's for like graphics and your whatever assets you bring in, you can always like down res them so that they're in there. Yeah, bake your lighting, that's a good one too.
Yeah, that's
Don't
the most important thing, I
Yeah.
would say, for lighting. That makes such a, like in our VR course, that made the difference from like 10 FPS to like 60, 70 FPS.
God.
Having baked lights is like so important.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
say 90 FPS is a good FPS to shoot for because that'll like reduce motion sickness significantly. If you
Yeah.
drop below that, it starts to get a little noticeable.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a higher frame rate for VR than you do for like normal PC games and stuff.
Mm. Yeah. Also, that's a very good do or don't. I would say, like, I don't know why, but I see so many experiences that like run at like 5 FPS and nobody seems to care or something like this. I don't know why it's so common that I see so many experiences with like super low FPS. So when you see this is like the number one part for any VR application. If you don't get this right, then the whole experience will just suffer a lot if you don't get the FPS right. So you can try to reduce, just like Justin said already, try to reduce the poly counts and try to use baked lightings. And then that should help already a lot. But ideally, you don't want to submit something that runs on like 1 or 2 FPS, really. Because
And that
that will
kind
just
of
make us sick.
yeah, no one will end up playing your game. And yeah,
Exactly.
that's one of the goes back to playtest often because you'll notice like, oh, I added in something here and now my game is just super slow. And then like you'll be able to know, okay, well, I playtested 30 minutes ago and this is the only thing I added since then, so this must be the issue, that kind of stuff. Don't add post processing. Yeah, that's a
Oh yeah,
that's a
or
big
be
one
very
too.
careful with it. But I would also say maybe don't even add
Yeah,
it.
for a game jam, it's not.
For
You
a
don't
game
really
jam,
need it.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's a bit too overkill, I would say.
yeah. Let's see. Is it possible to develop VR games on a laptop?
Sure, why not? I'm using a laptop myself. I mean,
There you go.
it's a good
Yeah,
one.
you have to have like a gaming. It has to have a graphics card. That's like the main thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could do it.
I mean, if it has a dedicated graphics card and you can play VR games, then you can also build VR games, I would just say.
Let's see. What's your process for getting assets from the asset store? So like, how do you deal with, just you end up having a bunch of assets in your game and you're not using a bunch of them and they're starting to bog down your game a little bit?
Let me see. I would say I'm generally careful with assets. I don't buy too many. Like if you have a good 3D environment set, that already helps a lot. But from the coding side, I use most of them. I try to build many of these things myself. And also for the game jam as well, like if you use assets, you have to also mention them. And of course, like they will be put into the grading, because if you buy if you buy an asset, which is a whole game, which is possible, then of course you have to rate it as well. So for the game jam, I would really just try to go on experience. Like the sample project that we provide has some basic assets already for like your environment and the hands and stuff like this. So you don't need to start from zero, because we try to help you out on this part, because I know from experience that setting up your project sometimes takes like half of the game jam time, which is kind of frustrating.
And that's one thing you can do like leading up to the game jam is like, play with some of the assets you're planning on using, get familiar with them, know what you want to use out of it, know what you don't want to use out of it. And you could even like set up your own Unity package that has just the bits that you want to add into your project. So when we start on Friday, you can just go ahead and add that in, and you're good. You have the assets you need, and then you can start building your game.
Exactly. Okay, there's one question. I think that's simple to answer. I have an Oculus, but I also want to make a build for PCVR. Can someone help me in testing it? I would assume that you have a Oculus Quest, I guess, from that question. And basically what you can use Oculus Link. If you order today, it may come tomorrow. Basically, you need a USB-C cable that has that has a lot of power. So USB-A to USB-C, and then you have to make sure on Amazon or wherever you buy it that it has like enough. I think it needs also data transfer, and not only
well, I think they actually downgraded
transfer.
it, so you need at least a USB 2.0 now
to that's even better.
USB-C.
But yeah, to that I would just say you can use Oculus Link, but you don't have to really build it in PCVR if
you
you
can do
have
AirLink now too. You don't even need a cable.
And you can do AirLink. It's also pretty cool. I think you need a good Wi-Fi connection for that, and a good laptop, and many good things. But actually, I play Half-Life Alyx on AirLink on my laptop, and it works much better than expected, to be honest.
Interesting.
Super nice, yeah.
I installed Wi-Fi 6 specifically so I could do like, AirLink kind of virtual desktop type stuff without having to be plugged in. Let's see. What's the submission criteria for the jam? Yeah, it's just a build. You run a build and then you post it to itch.io. So
yeah,
that's the criteria.
The cool thing is everything is inside of itch.io. So all the rules, all the questions, all the submissions, and the voting, everything is going to be handled there. And the team finding we can do on Discord, because I think that's easier than trying to find your own mates somehow.
Yeah, so this is basically the project file for my game jam last time. So I have your whole project in here, but then I have a builds folder, and then this is just kind of what I ended up doing. I have every build that we ended up running. So small, so it's 0, which means it's still an alpha, and then 0.2, so like 0.2 and 0.3, that's like kind of every time I did a major kind of change to it, I upped this number, and then the small number is for any like bugs that I fixed. And then I specified if this was specifically for a Quest 2 build. So a Quest 2 build will be your .apk file. So this is all you have to add in if you're solely building for Quest 2 standalone. Or I also ended up having, so this is the PC build, which you need to include the whole folder. So I ended up just doing a zip folder of each version that I ended up posting to the itch page. And then so you just drag and drop this onto the itch page, and you specify this is for PC, this is what version it is, and all that kind of stuff. And you can hide the older versions, so you don't have to like take them down. You just post as many versions as you want. We'll just specify, and you can continue to post new versions after the game jam's over. We just request that you keep the version when the time expired still available, so we can test that specific version for judging.
Yeah, I mean, that looked super crisp and clear and very organized. So very good job over there. That would be like the ideal case. But I think
that's my OCD developer coming out.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have any other questions on my side right now.
Let's see. Looks like everyone's talking about building out and how to build to a Quest 2 and what happens if you have a laptop, how do you build to those. I love how you guys are answering your own questions in there. This is perfect. I don't even have to do anything.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And yeah, for any upcoming tutorials that you need to know, you can just check out his or my channel. I think we have like similar videos on setting up Quest 2 development and VR stuff. So
Yeah.
I think that's you can prepare very well for this game jam by just watching some videos beforehand, and then you ideally have a little bit less problems.
Oh, here's a good question. What's your favorite VR game right now?
Oh, yeah, you go ahead.
Oh goodness. I don't know. I'm still in the Population 1 bandwagon right now. They're I think they're number 1 on Quest too right now. But yeah, I like Population 1 just because it's the battle royale, but it's PC. And I like that they put you in teams too. I think that's nice instead of it just being like a solo kind of thing. So like I get to meet people and talk to people and whatnot. Resident Evil 7, that's a good choice.
For VR? I know they have just launched Resident Evil 4, right?
Do they have a VR Resident Evil 7?
Yeah, no, 7, I don't
Do
know.
they have a
Ah,
7?
no, they do for PlayStation VR. Yes.
Oh, PlayStation. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I totally forgot about it. But they also relaunched Resident Evil 4, which is amazing because that's I think I played this one on PlayStation back then, like I don't know how many years ago. And I'm super excited to play this. Excited and a little bit afraid, but let's just see.
Most scary thing he's done in his
Eh,
life, he says.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Resident Evil 4 VR is coming out tomorrow. Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm right now still playing Half-Life Alyx because I finally got my Razer, which is powerful enough to stream everything to my Quest.
Mm.
And other than that, I don't know if it sounds like boring, but I'm such a Beat Saber fanboy. It's like it's
Beat Saber.
insane. I think I spent like 80% of my VR time in Beat Saber with like custom songs and custom everything and all of that stuff. It's so good. I mean, like I'm super nerdy with like music games in general. I also play like Osu and Guitar Hero a lot. And now, like the day that I saw Beat Saber, I was just like playing like a maniac. I didn't stop anymore.
I'm not the musically inclined type, so I've never had too much rhythm. So it's a little challenging for me. I'm more into the guns and shooters type games.
Yeah, they're also pretty cool, like especially in VR.
Yeah. Phasmophobia was fun. I just need to do like a live stream of the Lone Echo because they just came out with Lone Echo 2, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I need to like do Lone Echo 1 playthrough and then do a Lone Echo 2 playthrough. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're bitey right now.
Oops. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty good so far.
Oh, I played No Man's Sky VR. That was a good one. I liked it. There's a lot of movement in No Man's Sky, so you get motion sick a little bit if you are prone to that. But it was cool. It was a cool experience. I think I still prefer it in pancake mode though.
I haven't played that yet, but there are like so many games that I still have to play. But now, slowly, I'm having enough time to get my hands on some of these.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Budget Cuts is also pretty cool. I played it when it was like back in the demo. It was one of the very early VR games that were pretty cool.
Early.
Really
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. I mean, I only played the beta like I don't even know, like 5 years ago or so. But that was a really nice game as well.
Yeah, Job Simulator is a fun one. That one's just like kind of a chill, like funny.
Yeah, super good demo. I kind of call it like a demo, but it's a really good demo.
Yeah. Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades is fun if you like weapon gameplay. So like, manipulating guns and stuff. That one has the most realistic kind of weapon handling. interactions of like any game that I've played, which is super cool. The actual gameplay is a little kind of meh, but like you just have like some shooting ranges and you get to play with a whole bunch of different guns, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, you're really needy right now.
And we have a guest, another one.
Yeah. This is Nova. She's my 4.5-month-old golden doodle, and she
Oh, say something.
talking to the microphone. Cool. Anything else you want to talk about? The oh yeah, yawn. The game jam. We're doing another live stream on the on Friday, 2 days.
Exactly.
Starting at the same time as this one. And we're gonna be giving you all the theme, which is it's a pretty broad theme, which I think will be really good. And y'all will come up with some interesting ideas for it. And then
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're gonna do another stream. Then we'll kind of like show you how our demo project that we give you is set up. We'll go over the theme, answer y'all's questions a little bit, and help y'all get started.
Exactly.
And then I know we'll both end up playing a lot of the games, and I may end up live streaming. I may just get into more live streaming. I haven't been posting videos very often recently, and I need to get better at that. Maybe live streaming is a good way to start doing that, because yeah, work's just gotten in the way. But I may just start like playing some games and live streaming some games and whatnot, just to kind of get back into it. So live streaming's not too difficult after you get it set up.
Yeah, after you get all of that stuff done.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Like again, like you feel like a media production. I can see myself like 5-6 times, like one OBS, one there, there's a preview.
You understand when people have 4 or 5 screens.
Exactly. It's a good reason to buy like 2 or 3 more screens now, finally. Yeah. Cool. Right. Yeah, then I would say looking forward to the Game Jam launch in 2 days. And yeah, if you guys, whether it's on YouTube or LinkedIn or Discord or wherever you are, just you know where to reach us, and just let us know all of your questions. And we are super happy to help you out in building some amazing, cool games.
Yep. The next live stream is going to be over on Dinesh's channel, so make sure you're subscribed to him. And I'm going to post this recording just in case you want to come back to it, or anybody else who's watching from the future needed some answers to questions. So
to the future.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I think we can wrap this one up.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And I will end the stream now. And there we go.